and welcome back to the HullCityFanCentral YouTube channel, where today I'll be giving you my preview prediction and everything you need to know ahead of Millwall versus Hull City at the Den. We're taking a strong following for this one, of course, many fans taking advantage of Adjun's Christmassy New Year present of free away travel to this one. But let's preview, break it all down, starting off with our injury update. Positive news around injuries. So Steven Alzate, Gustavo Puerta, Ryan Longman and Finley Burns will all be available. Matty Jacob is going to be assessed, as he's said about a bit of a hip problem, but it doesn't seem to be too bad on the surface there. We did have doubts about Alzate, Puerta and Burns after all three of them had picked up issues in the FA Cup game against Doncaster Rovers, and Longman and Jacob were left out altogether following a groin and hip issue respectively, but both of them are expected to be back fit and raring to go. Though the Tigers will be without long-term absences, Casey Palmer, Charlie Hughes, Dukan Sinek, Liam Miller and Mohamed Baloumi, plus the suspended Oscar Zambrano. Having those players available is a welcome shot in the arm for Ruben Sayers ahead of a busy three game week, which also sees City host QPR on Tuesday night before facing Sheffield United away at Bramall Lane on Friday night. Sellers' squad will also be further boosted by the arrivals of Matt Crooks and Joe Geldhart. Incoming arrival Norden Amrabat is expected to be involved, while he faces a big decision in goal over whether to play Ivor Panda or Carl Rushworth in a league debut after making his long-awaited Tigers bow in the FA Cup. Well, of course, I'll tell you who I think will be starting for Hull City in between the sticks with our starting 11 prediction powered by our friends over at Fanhub. Go and check them out. So, Panda. It's got to be Panda. He's not done anything worthy to miss out on the starting lineup, has he? He's been fantastic. One of the single-handedly the shining star of this season for City. Most consistent player. He's been there week in, week out, been absolutely fantastic. So he can't really lose his starting job here. Of course, Carl Rushworth makes a very, very good argument. But I think once Panda has one bad game, then you can slide Rushworth in as a very, very good backup option. Sayers, this is what I believe will be his starting lineup. Of course, Panda. Then a back four of Louis Coyle. I think that he's going to go with Louis Coyle and maybe try and stick to somewhat of a similar format that he had for the Leeds game. As we know, that went well. Why not? Why change it for the league? Then the centre back partnership, of course, of Sean McLaughlin. I thought McLaughlin had an all right game in all things considered in the FA Cup against Doncaster Rovers. Hopefully, he can replicate some similar success and build on. Obviously, hopefully we win this one following the FA Cup game. And then Alfie Jones alongside him. And then obviously Matty Jacob at left back. A little bit of an injury doubt on him. But I think that if he is fit, raring to go, have him starting, of course, with the news around Ryan Giles possibly leaving to go to Middlesbrough. We could possibly be seeing less and less game time from him as he makes his decision, or as the City backroom staff make their decision. Of course, Steven Alzate, Regan Slater in there, along with Gustavo Puerta in that sort of midfield trio that we have. You'll probably be noticing I've not really picked any of the new recruits, and I'm not going to, because the Kamara's going to start out on the wide along with Mason Burster. You can maybe make an argument for Longman to be in there along with Kamara, but I think that maybe having Longman come off the bench, especially against the club that he was on that loan last season, may add a little bit of a factor into the game. And obviously Burster did miss the penalty to knock us out of the cup last Sunday, so he maybe wants to come back and have a point to prove, a little bit similar to how Kamara did against Leeds, of course, not with similar stakes in it though. And up top, of course, João Pedro. So yeah, no new recruits in there whatsoever, but I do think that all three of them will have some sort of contribution. Maybe the only one that can maybe an argument that won't be on the bench would be the brand new one, being Amrabat, of course, but we will wait and see. But I think that both Pedro and Matt Crooks will both be involved off the bench. So, other news. Of course, we've signed Amrabat, but today is filled with plenty of City news. I'll start off with a bit of an academy breakup, and defender Jake Leake has joined National League side Oldham Athletic on a loan for the remainder of the 24-25 season. It's quite nice to see some of the academy lads actually going out on loan now. We didn't have, well, last season we had quite a few, and this season we don't seem to have anyone really gone out on loan. There's a handful, but other than that, not really been any people loaned out. Lincoln Henrique is taking his medical at Hull City today ahead of a loan move to the Tigers, which is very nice to see. Another player coming in. And there has been a scheduled flight landing at East Yorkshire today from Paris, private jet. Unsure whether that is Lincoln Henrique or another January arrival, as the Tigers are very keen on bolstering this starting or this squad ready for the next second half of the season, which is going to be a very tough one for the Tigers, but hopefully things will be beautiful for the Tigers moving forwards. Hopefully. Let's crack back into the game. So last meetings between both sides. Of course, we've already faced each other this season. A 0-0 draw at the MKM Stadium during, of course, the Tim Volter era. But things are a bit different now for us, as we are under the Ruben Sayers era. Of course, last time we met at the Den, it was a 2-2 draw in last season's affair. So, form heading into this game. It's looking pretty even. Of course, Middlesbrough haven't picked up a win in the league in the last 5, whereas Hull City have. Of course, that top one on both sides being in the FA Cup. Last time out in the league for Millwall was a 2-2 draw against Sheffield Wednesday, whereas for us it was a 3-3 draw against Leeds United. And funny enough, Leeds and Sheffield Wednesday are playing against each other this weekend. So all things come up, don't they? Really looking at mainly on the form sheet is Millwall don't score an abundance amount of goals. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but that's something to take into note. So table-wise, we are, of course, sitting in 22nd place, just inside the relegation zone, just nicely inside the relegation zone, but hopefully won't be for long. 7 points separate both sides, and I was talking about the goals for Millwall. You thought Hull City weren't scoring goals. Well, Millwall have scored one less goal than Hull City this season, yet they are very strong defensively, bolstering a +1 goal difference. So former Tigers, well, we're going to meet 2 former Tigers tomorrow. Of course, George Honeyman, we know he's been at Millwall for a little bit of time, but also Aaron Connolly, brand new signing for them this January. Signed him on from Sunderland, of course. Signed at Sunderland in the summer, didn't really crack on there, and now he's gone to Millwall, hopefully to crack on there. But hopefully he doesn't do anything tomorrow to disrupt the Tigers' plans to escape from the relegation battle. Shared shirts. Well, I've gone for a bit of an obscure one, being Adam Boulder. Now, Adam Boulder, a Hull lad himself, played for Hull in 20 appearances across a span from the 1998 to the 2000s. He then went bounced around a few different clubs in the Football League and made a loan stint at Millwall during the 2008-9 season, and then joined them permanently the season later for the 2009-10 season. He made a total of 39 appearances for Millwall. Bit of an obscure one, that. Okay, player to watch out for. Well, I say no one's really been firing for Millwall, but this lad is their top scorer, Duncan Watmore, in 20 Champions League fixtures that he's played this season for Millwall, grabbing 5 goals and 1 assist. Similar stats to of course our own João Pedro, which just shows you the extent of Millwall's lack of goals coming for them. Of course, he's not quite the same as João Pedro, playing out on the left wing, and his last goal came for Millwall quite a while ago. We'll have to scroll it all the way back, back to the 21st of September 2024. Of course, last year now, but this season. In a 1-1 draw away at QPR. And then his last assist, or the first and only assist, came a game afterwards on the 28th of September in a 3-1 win at home against Preston. That's, I believe, is Millwall's biggest win of the season, if I'm correct on that one, but I'm not 100% sure. So certainly player to watch out for in some capacity tomorrow. Score prediction. I think Hull City will outscore Millwall to a scoreline of 2-1 to Hull City. I think that the recruits from the bench, of course, the new January recruits, along with the hard work that we saw against Leeds United, will provide best for City, with João Pedro grabbing his next goal for the Tigers, along with Joe Gelhardt grabbing his first goal for the Tigers. He scored twice against us, and why not score for us? As I leave you with that photo of Adrian Ilajali, as I ask you to let me know down in the comments what your prediction is ahead of this game. Do you think Hull City will win, lose, draw? What's the scoreline? Who do you think will score? All that sort of goodness. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, as I will be with my match reaction after the game tomorrow. And I also keep up to on everything Hull City, so the January transfer window winds on, and there is plenty more business from Hull City's way. So stay tuned on the channel for that. Go and check me out over on Twitter, or X, whatever it's called nowadays, for a breaking minute by minute on Hull City. I'm also a little bit active over on the TikTok. Go and check me out over there to see even more Hull City content. And I will see you in the next video. Up the Tigers.